You wake to the cry of something bright and feathered passing just beyond the glass, and for a moment you cannot tell whether you are indoors at all. Green light filters across the ceiling, dappled and shifting, the way sunlight moves when it has been broken by 1,000 leaves. There is birdsong everywhere, layered and wild, and the warm, damp scent of a rainforest after rain. You sit up, and through the curved window beside your bed, the world reveals itself, and your breath catches. You are high above the forest floor, cradled in the canopy itself, and all around you a city grows among the trees. You rise and step toward the window, and it opens into open air. A walkway of living wood stretches before you, winding between the trunks of trees so vast that whole homes nest within their branches. Below, the jungle falls away into green shadow. Above, the canopy rises in tiers toward a sky broken by drifting clouds. The city does not sit upon the forest. It lives within it, woven through the branches, suspended on slender supports that touch the earth as lightly as a bird alighting. You search for the scars you would expect, the cleared ground, the felled trees, and you find none. Nothing was cut to build this. The city simply moved in among the living, and the forest never noticed the difference. You step onto the walkway, and the air meets you warm and rich and alive, so clean it feels like the first breath you have ever taken. You understand quickly why. This is the year humanity stopped taking from the forest and began to live as a part of it. The towering trees around you are not a backdrop. They are the city's lungs and its foundation both. And the people here measure their success not by how much land they cleared, but by how much life they let remain. You watch a family tending a garden that spills along a branch, and you realize they grow their food up here, in the light, among the leaves, taking nothing the forest cannot spare. A small craft drifts up to meet the walkway, quiet as a gliding bird, and you step inside. It lifts and slips into a gentle current of others, threading between the great trunks, rising through gaps in the canopy and sinking again into green shade. None of them touch, none of them slow. You watch them move in effortless coordination, guided by a single shared mind, and you understand that even here, at the very beginning of this new age, the chaos of the old roads is already gone. There are no engines fouling the air, no noise drowning the birdsong, only the soft passage of craft moving as gently as the wind through the leaves. The craft carries you up through the canopy, and you break suddenly into open sky. And there you discover what lies above the forest. The city climbs. Higher than the tallest trees, slender towers rise wrapped entirely in green, vertical gardens reaching toward the clouds, terraces spilling vines into the open air. The sky cities and the jungle below are not two places, but one. A single living thing reaching from the forest floor to the heights. And people move freely between them, descending into green shadow and rising into sunlit air as easily as breathing. You realize you are watching the moment humanity learned that it did not have to choose between the wild and the built. It could have both, woven together. The craft sets you down on a high terrace where children have gathered, and you wait for a school, and instead, find a circle of wonder. One child is coaxing a model storm to form in the air above her hands. Another is listening to the calls of the forest birds, learning their language. There is no teacher standing over them, no rules, no schedule. A patient presence guides each child along the path of their own curiosity. And you realize that even now, this early, learning is becoming something shaped around the mind of each child, rather than forced upon all of them at once. They are growing up never having known the dull machinery of the old classrooms. If this green and rising world is stirring something in you, a glimpse of the turn we might still take? Pause a moment to subscribe and journey on with us. Every future we explore together is a reminder of what we are still capable of choosing. The more of us who hold this vision in our minds, the more possible it becomes. Now, let the journey continue. You rise again, and a transit line carries you to the very crown of the sky cities. And from here, the whole settlement opens beneath you. You see how it was made. Nothing sprawled outward to swallow the forest. The city grew upward and gathered close, leaving the jungle around it almost entirely untouched, running green and unbroken to the horizon in every direction. Rivers wind below, free and clean. The land was not conquered to make room for people. People learned to fold themselves into the land so gently that the wild remained wild. You understand that this was the great turning, the moment humanity stopped measuring progress by what it could subdue and began measuring it by what it could leave alive. The line carries you out over the edge of the city, and you watch teams of people and quiet machines moving through the forest below, not cutting, but healing. They are restoring land that earlier generations had stripped bare, coaxing the jungle back across old wounds, returning life to places that had nearly lost it. You realize this city is not only a place to live, it is a promise being kept, a long repayment of an old debt to the living world. And the forest is answering, spreading green back across the scars year by year. You descend as the day softens toward evening, and the canopy fills with golden light slanting low between the trunks. People gather along the walkways and terraces to share food and slow conversation, their voices mingling with the evening calls of the birds. And you notice the thing beneath all of it. There is calm here, an unhurried ease that the old world rarely knew. People give their hours to what they love, to tending gardens and raising children and making beautiful things. And the desperate striving that once filled every day has begun already to fall away. You find a quiet place at the terrace's edge and sit. And below you, the lights of the jungle city wake one by one, soft and warm among the leaves. You watch a child point upward through a gap in the canopy at the first emerging stars, asking a question you cannot hear. And you watch an elder answer with a smile, and it settles over you, the meaning of where you sit. None of this was inevitable. This green and gentle world was not promised to anyone. It was a choice, made at the edge of a harder path, by people who decided that the forest was worth saving and that humanity could grow without devouring its own home. This was the year so much that choice began to come true. You lean back beneath the rustling leaves and look up through the canopy at the gathering stars, and a single thought stays with you as the city glows softly among the trees. This is what we could become if we choose the living world instead of the conquered one. And quietly, somewhere within you, you begin to believe that we will.